What's up, guys? It's me, Tim, at the Gutter Growth Podcast. I got special guest today, Dylan Thornsberry. What's up, brother?
Thanks for having me, Tim.
What's going on, man? So, you're in the gutter cleaning space and also the Christmas light space.
Yep.
Tell everybody a little bit about your company and where you're at and how you got into
Yep.
it.
Yep. We're in Seattle, just north of Seattle, Washington. This is our fourth season doing holiday lighting. I did run a company called Seattle Pro Wash. Alongside it, the Christmas lighting company is just a lot bigger, a lot better. Christmas Northwest right here, ChristmasNW.com. That's been a lot better. So the gutter cleaning thing, I don't really focus on. I don't really care about it. It's just kind of is what it is.
The cleaning?
Yeah, the gutter cleaning business. Yeah. We used to do power washing. I've completely sold all that equipment. I'm out of that. It's just gutter and roof cleaning. Just couldn't make it work. But holiday lights has been great to me. So this is our fourth season. We're on pace. We're going to finish about 450,000 in revenue. Nice. And that's 4 seasons. That's kind of that's where we're at with the company.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. So I remember watching a lot of your pressure cleaning businesses. What was it about that made you shift out of it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I'll buy. Yeah. Okay, dude. I'm at Starbucks. They're making me buy something. I was gonna buy something. Okay, sorry. This is not good. They're gonna kick you out if you don't buy something. Okay. Yeah, wait, Tim, should I just go buy something now or what should we do? 1 second.
Yeah, man. I could pause this.
Live on podcast. All right, let's go buy this. This is hilarious. 1 sec.
I got my coffee.
I'll just stay on it and let me buy this. All right, 1 sec. Hey. So, can I just get an iced coffee? Grande iced coffee. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, cream and sugar, please. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, there you go. All right, got that done. All right. Now we're back. Okay, what were you saying? Sorry, let's redo it.
I got my coffee.
I already had a coffee. It's a Wendy's coffee. Let's jump back into it. You were pressure washing?
So what made you get out of it and kind of what was the reason? I tried it at one point too, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, man, I can't believe I went with it as long as I did. I think I should have cut the ties within 2 months. After looking back, how much money was spent, it was just number one. Everything about it is terrible. It's not recurring unless you do like commercial contracts, right? I think people are trying to make it recurring, but it's just not naturally recurring. You're not naturally gonna, pressure wash your house driveway once a year, maybe where you live, but not where I live. The equipment is super expensive, like the basic equipment to just do a job. It's fine, but like if you actually want, what?
A lot of repairs on equipment.
Yeah. Our shit would break every day. It would break every single day. And like we started off with the basic and then we're like, we wanted better stuff. And then you need a custom truck setup. Where I live, you can't run a trailer in Seattle. It's not going to work. So now we have these custom rigs. It's super expensive. And then the jobs, just spending so much money in equipment and callbacks. Everything was terrible. The bleach just destroyed your equipment. The bleach is so horrific. I think the bleach itself is like, and then there's a lot of nuance in the pressure washing industry that people don't talk about. Like for us, every time we did a house wash, like the windows would leak. If we did a driveway, the driveway would have a flooding issue half the time. Like they basically had bad drainage into their driveway because our machines use so much water. So every driveway we'd have to like bring out a pump to pump it out. And then another thing is where I live, it's not easy to pressure wash. We have moss.
Yeah.
Right. So if I had vinyl homes all day in Dallas, like cool, let's go spray down a vinyl home. Where I live, it's like 100 pounds of moss on this driveway, right? And so a driveway job was taking 3-4 hours. And it was like, okay. And then we go out to do a gutter cleaning. We're there for 30 minutes and we're done. Right. And so I'm like, okay, 30-minute gutter cleaning, 4-hour driveway. Like, come on. So eventually I'm just like, this is just ridiculous.
There's more profit in gutter cleaning.
Way more profit. In gutter cleaning, you can get them on a recurring contract. Like, hey, let's come out and do it. So yeah, I think that industry is truly horrible. And I think the nuances with all the, like, I don't know if you follow people, but like all the specialized spray tips, all of these 20 horsepower engines, it's just way more complex than I think people give it credit for.
Right. Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
got all these guys just giving it away for nothing too. I've noticed
The
that.
clients, dude, I had jobs. We'd go clean their gutters and say, hey, do you want us to clean your driveway? And they're like, no, I love pressure washing. And I'm like, dude, that driveway with that Ryobi you have is going to take you 12 hours. With that, like that, you know what I mean? Yeah, and people like doing it. They like doing it. And I'm like, dude, I want to be in an industry where people don't fucking like doing it. You know? And then literal 12-year-olds on TikTok, literal 12-year-olds are doing it. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting into this. Like, get me out. This industry is terrible. So I think like, and my thing is, people are like, oh, some people are successful in pressure washing. Here's what I'll say. I think that's true. I think if you took those same people and put them in any other industry,
Oh yeah,
they would be 10 times like what Wesley Wise Guys Pro Wash. If you put these guys in a roofing company, they'd be freaking billionaires at this point.
yeah.
Right? Like all these guys,
They're
Justin
grinding.
Barnes. Yeah, like they're like you see their shops, you see how dialed in they are, and I'm like, dude, if this guy was in a high ticket industry, he would be rich. So that's what I'll say. Like it can be done, but I think
Are you doing mostly reoccurring on your cleanouts?
yeah, it's mostly recurring. I don't
Yeah.
focus on it too hard. Like I don't have amazing systems. It's not that profitable, but
You're
we have
dialed in on
ladders.
the Christmas lights. That's what you're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's
have it
such a good
figured out.
business.
Yeah. And for us, it goes so long. Like we're doing it all the way. Like we do takedowns in February where I love people like love the lights. They're like, I want them up. We have no HOAs here. And so we're taking down in February. And then it's like, okay, March, April, May, June, July, August, all of a sudden you're hiring your Christmas crew. September, you're back installing.
Yeah.
Right. So really we're just talking about like 4 months of gutter cleaning. That's really all we're talking about. March, April, June, July. That's it. Because August, you're training and hiring your crew again for lights.
So me and you met at an event. Where was that? That was at CLC.
Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg, yeah. That was what, your second season back then?
That was my second season. No, I feel like that was my third. Because I thought I had a breakthrough season that season.
I know it was right after I got done with my first season when we met. So this is
Wait, so was that not last year? It was 2 years ago?
yeah.
Man, I guess that was my second season. Yeah, I guess that was my second season.
Yeah, you've come a long way since then. What did you do, like 300 houses this year?
Yeah, we did 200. I have the spreadsheet right here. I think it was right at 280. We had a couple permanent installs that we subcontracted some random stuff, but yeah, right at 280, which is a lot, and we could probably trim it down and charge more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to play with my business. I think about it a lot.
So what type of challenges have you, now that you got that amount of houses, what type of challenges has that brought for you?
Yeah, 280. I mean, it's funny because Dustin Howes does 3,000 houses a year.
3,000?
Yeah, some advanced brand.
Wow. How many crews does that guy have?
Well, I don't know the actual number, but that's just what I was told. Like 10 to 15, maybe 15 crews. Same advanced brand. These are all Utah guys. For some reason, I'm fascinated by the Utah market. Their average ticket's like $600. They do 3,000 houses. $3-4 million companies. I don't know the numbers, but then
Yeah.
their bottom line is maybe 20-30%. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And it's like you can do it that way. You know what I mean? Like there's more than one way to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So they just do high volume, probably more lower ticket.
yeah, roofline only type companies. I don't know. You'd have to probably talk to Dustin Howes or Vance Brand, but this is just what I've been told is kind of, and they sell the lights. So I know earlier off the pod you talked about retention. I will say, if you charge them 10 a foot your first year and charge them 5 a foot their second year, you're gonna have probably a 95% retention rate.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably gonna keep all of them. So, but yeah, sorry. For the 280 we're at. The challenges were bottom line was not where it should have been. The profit was not where it should have been. It just wasn't. Spending so much on materials because we didn't get everything from China. We got some locally, paying
Yeah.
upwards of 90 cents a bulb, ridiculous rates. Our labor was just not. We just weren't. I just wasn't tracking the numbers well, to be honest with you. I was just kind of being reckless. Like we had 4 crews at one point. 4 crews for 450 revenue. It's probably just not what you want. So it was just. Ugh. Yeah,
How
I
many
mean,
guys
there's
on
a
a
lot.
crew? Is that like two-man crews?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah.
Yeah, we started off with 3. Last year we did 3-man. This year was all 2-man,
Okay.
which I don't regret. And I frankly think you can even do 1-man sometimes. Like if you're just doing roof lines, why not just throw one guy on a truck? I don't know. That's the thing about Dustin Howes that we just talked about. I think the reason they can do 3,000 1-man truck, right? Because think about this: if he does 4 houses a day, $2,000, you pay him 300. You have a
They're all
17.
one-man trucks.
To my knowledge, mostly, yeah.
I wonder if he's got bucket trucks.
No,
No.
definitely not. Utah is very flat, easy roofs. If you look on Google Maps, it's all flat, easy roof.
So they're
But yeah,
probably just in and out real quick. That's probably why they could do it that way.
I mean, they're dialed in. They have maps, right? They have a little map they made. But for us, I think the bottom line really wasn't where it should have been. It should have been much higher. You know what I mean? Like jobs were bid wrong. Guys were taking way too long. Not like mapping them correctly necessarily. Just a lot of mistakes. What about you?
Yeah, no, I mean, my main thing is just I need to fix my retention. Like I'm so dialed in on the sales. Like I have that. Like I know that I could every year I could add. It seems like every year I could add over 300,000 in new sales. So I mean that's really great, but it's only great if I'm not having to replace a bunch of people. But at least I own the lights, so I mean I am putting them somewhere. So I don't know. It's interesting. This is year 3, so I'm still learning so much. It's just like I feel like I have getting the business and the branding and the marketing and that aspect of it all pretty nailed down, but I don't feel like I have it all nailed down.
Yeah. One thing I think it's funny you talk about sales. I still think a lot about the sales process and how can I fix it because I'm doing all the sales and I don't want to really do that. All the in-persons, because this is something I think we kind of messed up when I'm talking about mistakes. I don't really have a defined sales process.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like I don't have a repeatable sales process. It really was kind of like, okay, if they're within this area, we'll go out. But if like the customer's like, yeah, I just want a roof line, we usually wouldn't go out. Right. And then if they were, we would do a virtual and then we would just send it. And this is something where we're like, should we send it? Or I'm thinking like, should I get them on a call? Right. Like, hey, your quote's ready. Call me when you're ready. Right. To kind of get that live call. You see what I'm saying? Versus just sending and praying. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do.
And then, because like Seattle is massive. It's massive. It's 3.5 million people. I'm happy to go an hour for an install, but I'm just not happy to go out an hour to estimate an install. You see what I'm saying? And then for repeats, we can cluster them all together.
What type of close rate did you have?
Total leads is about 20% or under 20. Of in-persons, it's about 50%.
50.
Or maybe a little bit higher. I'd have to check.
So were you quoting everybody or were you giving them a minimum?
No. So we would, this is something else we like, dude, this is a whole podcast right here. This topic, because I've played with it a lot, but I didn't necessarily track exactly what worked. But we at the starting of the season, we had like no pricing on the website, right? But I think like once you put the pricing on the website, now like, okay, your leads are a lot better. You get a lot fewer of them, but they're a lot better leads. So right now the website says like average job 800 to 2,000. right? Which I'm not sure that's the way to do it, because I'm not sure crazy about the budget idea. I don't know. I've tested around with it because like when people put in their budget, I kind of don't care, because you have plenty of people that have an $800 budget and they spend 5K. And so you're like, what's the point of putting in a budget? But I think the budget is like, it lets them know that like, hey,
Pre-qualifier.
I think the point of the budget is to be like, hey, it can cost this much.
Yeah.
You
It's
see what
like
I'm saying?
pricing thing.
Yeah. So they're like, oh wow, people spend 5K on this. Now they know. You know what I mean? Like, and then when you give them a 5K quote, they're like, okay, I get it. Like this makes sense, right? So, but yeah, the whole thing was like, I didn't like our process. I wasn't in love with it, but it was like, if they were in our near my house, you know, I'd be like, okay, let's go out for a quote. And if they wanted, you know, the idea was like, if they wanted above a roof line, like they had some excitement, we would go out. But then it was kind of like, you're kind of throwing away roof line leads that also could have been a bigger ticket, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't even know what they want really. They just, you see what I'm saying? So it kind of felt like, because now we're changing our process, like, okay, we're changing our process when it's better to maybe just have one process. Like this is our process, right? But if they were outside of here, we would just send a quote, because I was like, well, we have the lead anyway. If they're over 30 minutes out, we'll just send them a quote. And we closed a lot of them. And then if they're in here, I would go out for the in-person and I would do that. But I don't know. I didn't feel like everybody does something in this industry. Everybody's doing wildly different stuff for sale.
Yeah.
Like
it's a
wildly.
lot of this crazy stuff working for a lot of people. You know, for me, it's just a lot of the stuff it works for them. It wouldn't necessarily work for me, but for me, I'm just giving them a $1,500. I don't like to call it a minimum. I like to call it, you know, our packages start at $1,500.
Yeah.
And then that weeds out a lot of people. I mean, there's so many people that like, you know, absolutely they're like, oh no, that's crazy. And so, but at least I didn't go out to hear that in person, you know? And so my close rate was like 55% in person. I didn't do too many virtuals. If I did a virtual, it was like because they had like 1 or 2 trees, you know, and it was just like 2 trees, and they could send me a picture, and you know, I could get.
I mean, for me, like the thing with me, it felt like everybody wants a roof line. You know, in our website, like I tried to make it like, because like I don't really want to be in that game of like, because like, what are you really offering your clients? Like, okay, we do, like anybody can do a roof line, but it felt like everybody wanted a roof line. Like literally, like 9 out of 10 people were like, yeah, I just want roof line lights, right? And so I'm like, man, do I really want to go out and waste my time? And I think that's where your $1,500 minimum, you're kind of batting them away, because you're like, yeah, it starts at $1,500, so you're going to get more than a roof line, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, just saying that, I think can kind of bat away a lot of those people.
I mean, it did. You know, I beat away a lot of people. Like, I think that if I had a 55% close rate, but I think if I took everyone that I, you know, threw away, it would probably be like 20%.
Well, but who knows? Maybe listen to me, Tim. If you kept your prices the exact same, and let's say you had an $800 minimum, and let's say you kept everything the same, and you had another sales guy, what if you would have added on $1 million in new sales? Are you following me? But your close rate might have gone from 55 to 40. But let's say
if I had sales guys, I may do all quotes. I may. You know what I mean? But for me, it's like I'm doing them right now. Next year, I don't really plan on doing them. But for me, I can't get to them all. So like, it's just like I only want to get to serious people. And another thing is like, I don't know. You know, it's not just about the more sales that I could have, but I don't know that I want low ticket jobs, because then I have to go there every year, and I could be building, you know, less customers but higher ticket. Like I have less customers than you. I think I have like 220.
Yeah, you have less, and you do more.
Yeah. So it's just less I have to manage.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's something maybe we just need to test it in my company. I think it's all about testing. A business is just a series of tests.
Well, yeah, like this year I'm doing a test, you know, because normally I'm getting a 50% deposit to rebook people, and I don't start until July. Now I'm going to kind of test it out at takedown, trying to get $97 deposit.
Yeah, I think you need to lock them in. I think I'll do the same thing. You got to lock them in, because they will just forget about you. You want to hear a funny story? My buddy, he did a job for. He does a job for an OKC player, right? He's in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And his buddy did a job for the MVP. Okay, you may know who I'm talking about here. Because all the guys know each other. There's only so many Christmas lighting companies in OKC, but he did it. It was like 20,000 like last year or something.
Uh-huh.
And then the MVP or whatever the guy's name, he moved. This famous basketball player like moved to a new house. He got this big new contract or whatever, biggest contract in history. So he moved, and then this guy didn't contact him the whole off season, right? And then September comes and he hits him up and he's like, "Yo, like we're excited to do lights again. You want to get on the schedule?" And they're like, "Oh, we already found somebody. Sorry." And he was like, "What?" Because it was a 20K job. Everything went great. They had zero complaints, and they literally went with a new company. And it's hard to say if it was because he didn't like follow up with them in the off season. And maybe they forgot who they used. They're like, "Oh, let's just call somebody else." But apparently, they ended up spending this year. They might have spent 60 or 70,000 on the lights.
That's wild.
Because he knew who the guy was, and he's like, "Yo, how much did you guys spend on the lights?" Because there's only so many installers in OKC, and the guy was like, "Yeah, like basically they actually gave him a blank check. I think they're like, "Yeah, I mean, whatever you want, like just do it. Like this, like we'll go up to a certain amount. I don't know what the number was." And apparently they got to like 60 or 70, and they just got tired. They're like, "Okay, like we're done." Because I looked at the picture and I was like, "Dude, you could have done way more." like you did like half of a tree. I'm like, "Dude, go all the way up."
Yeah.
But apparently, like they just like ran out of steam or something. I don't know the whole story, but he was saying it was like, the reason that happened is because he didn't follow up in the offseason. Like maybe if you locked him in, like, "Hey, do you want to put a deposit down for the net?" Then he wouldn't have
They
lost.
would have been looking.
They wouldn't have been looking. But he did say like he did move into a new neighborhood, and so maybe they're like new neighborhood, new installer. I don't know. But man, that hurts.
Yeah, I mean,
hurts.
there's so many quotes that I did. I'm doing quotes, and these people are telling me, "Yeah, I don't remember who I used last year."
Oh yeah.
So I'm hearing that.
Yeah.
So these people just forget, and so I don't
I hear
know. I
that
feel
all the
like
time.
maybe I just need to completely fix. I'm like 65% just sucks. Like I can't have another year like that.
I mean, Steve Hunsaker's around there.
What's that?
And Steve Hunsaker's around there, I believe.
I mean,
Steve,
I
he does,
hear
like,
a
$1
lot of
million.
the higher priced guys are, and I'm higher priced, but I just think that
Yeah.
it's obviously going to take some type of strategy to fix it. I don't think it's like unfixable. If I hit 80%, I'd be extremely happy.
80, yeah, I think that would do a lot for your company. I mean, it could just come down to, do you think like the funny thing is there's all these reasons people aren't coming back. And it's not clear, like, because I know somebody's because people say, "Oh, it's because you leased the lights." Like there's no reason for them to stay. But my buddy Josh Beavers in Louisville, he has like a 90% returning rate, and he leases them 10 a foot.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how come he does it?
Well, in my area, there's a lot of snowbirds. So, like, a lot of times it'll just be someone's not coming down this year. Like, I hear that too. Like, I'm trying to book someone, they're like, "We're not in Florida this year." They got a house in New York or somewhere else.
And you could say it's due to price. Here's where I push back. Our average install this year was like $1,100. And we only had, again, a 65% return rate, same as you. And these were not clients the clients that returned were actually a lot of the 3,000 plus clients did return.
Yeah.
But it was between 1,000 and 2,000 that didn't come back. And so it's not clear to me that it's like, oh, if you had lower prices, you'd get more return. Like if you lowered your price second year, you kind of following me there? It's not really clear to me that that's the case. But I mean, if you sell the lights, maybe, have you thought about that? Like, I don't know.
And it could be too, like, I'm doing repairs every day. I don't know about you, but I think it's just kind of the nature of lights. And maybe if like someone doesn't understand that and you have to go to them more than once, maybe they're not coming back because of it.
Yeah, we had one client. Yeah, we have one client we've gone back to 6 times, and we'll see if they come back. It's ridiculous. Dude, the amount of repairs, it's insane.
You got a lot of houses there.
Yeah. And dude,
it rains,
a lot of houses,
it wreaks havoc.
A lot of houses, a lot of rain. And the jobs were not installed perfectly.
Doesn't it rain a lot in Seattle?
Yeah, pretty much every day it rains.
Yeah.
But I think Florida gets more rain, total rain.
We get harder, like afternoon showers. It's not too bad this time of year, but we're getting it because that's where my repairs are coming from.
So when you get like this downpour, is it just like, here's 5 calls about the light's not working, or what is that like?
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems like I'm doing 25 repairs a week. It seems like, Yeah, man.
Bro, that's about what we do, bro. But what are you finding is like
It's
causing it? Or
GFIs. Like one of them was, I'm finding that if the plug isn't plugged in all the way, like if they have a loose connection and then water hits that male, so that's one thing.
Do you mean like the male and female are separated, or do you mean like the cap isn't all the way on?
Yeah, like the male and female might have a little space between it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's enough connection for it to work, but once it gets wet, so I think maybe that and just GFIs. Like I had one house that, man, it was the only job that I was involved in. I didn't do any work. I went to one job because I was just trying to help a guy out on a Sunday, and his house almost got caught on fire. I plugged in. I plugged in the lights and I walked away and I seen that the lights went out. So I'm walking back to the plug and he had some like mosquito thing. I don't know what it was. There was like a tank and it was plugged into this outlet that wasn't connected to the house. It was like kind of like right where all the shrubs were. And I pulled my cord out and then this thing's just smoking. Like it's got like a little black something, like a little black electrical box. And this thing's just smoking and smoking. I pulled it out and like the whole outlet was just like fried, but it definitely almost started a fire. It was pretty wild.
Wow. Dude, wait, so was that wasn't due to a male to male?
No.
Dude, that is, but it
it wasn't my lights. I think maybe my lights just overloaded it and it was whatever he had plugged in there. But it was there's some mosquito thing and some black electrical box that was connected to it that was smoking.
Bro, that's insane.
Yeah, no, it was wild. Literally the only job I touched.
Dude, that's funny. Yeah. Similar story, my buddy Andrew. He was telling me this was like his third year doing lights, and he's a small guy. He doesn't do a lot, right? Because he also does kind of the house washing stuff, and he has like 10, 20 customers. But he's like, yo, I got like, he was telling me like something, and he's like, I got shocked during an install, right? And I'm like, you got shocked. Why? If you install correctly, you should never be shocked ever.
Yeah.
Because like think about it, you're plugging a male into a female.
Right.
There's no scenario where you could possibly be shocked unless you're just completely doing it wrong. And I was like, and he's like going to a callback, and then he had a callback, and I was like, well, what's wrong? And he's like, oh, the plug's all burnt, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then he like shows me this picture, and it's a male to male, and I was like, dude, why do you have a male to male? Like I'm like, dude, you should never be shocked ever. Like, there's no reason you would ever be shocked unless you're doing a male to male connection. And he's like, oh, really? You've been installing that way for 3 years, Tim. For just everything was a male to male. And I was like, holy shit. No wonder you're getting so many callbacks, dude. You're roasting the roof.
Yeah.
Your roof lights are just roasting with male to males. And he literally had no idea. This is why trading actually matters. I was like, holy cow. You just realized that. So
I wonder how the guy with the 10, 15 crews, how he trains everyone every year. Because I'd imagine you don't get everyone to come back every year.
So he actually, I was just, so what I did, his name's Dustin Howes. He's pretty famous. He owns Lights at Wholesale.
Okay.
So he's a big dog. I don't know if his lights company is profitable or not. That's the thing is like, I don't know if I should listen to what he says because he could make no money. Right. That's the problem with the lights. Like Tim Crouch, he could be broke. I don't know Tim. I haven't seen his P&L. So that's the thing about getting advice. But for Dustin, he did say, I was listening to his podcast, and he did say that they pretty much keep all of their installers. They keep all of them. He said it's very rare that they ever have one leave. He keeps them busy in the off season with window washing and other stuff.
That's he's got other businesses.
Yes, he does. He admits they're not very profitable. But one thing he did say, that I think I was like, holy shit, I need to do this, is he does commission pay for performance. As he said, that's what keeps the installers, because all of a sudden he has installers making $1,000 a day, right? Because if it's their third season, right, and he let's say he gives them 10, 20 reinstalls in the same neighborhood, it's like you're thinking, how can anybody be profitable doing 4 a foot? And it's like, well, you kind of can if you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? If you have one guy out there with 10 installs at 4 a foot, he's running, let's say 20% commission or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he was saying his best installers were making $1,000 a day installing. And I think that's how he got the retention up for his employees. Was they were paying on performance. They're making really good money. Um, that's what it sounded like when I heard him talk.
I need to
So,
really
anyways,
dial in those numbers this year and kind of see where I'm at and
yep,
what it comes to, because
yep,
a lot of times it's not even like you might be at 20% or whatnot, and then but if you just make it a commission, now all of a sudden they start producing more.
I think I had an incredible crew, Tim. The greatest, like honestly, all my guys are workhorses, but I think they would have produced more, no question,
Yeah,
with performance pay.
incentive. It's
Um,
just human
yeah,
nature.
and I think, I kind of felt like a retard when I'm talking to my crew in the morning, and I'm like, "Hey guys, let's go out and get after it," and then I'm like, "They're not even making any more money." Like when we had like Hell Week, right? Like the week of Thanksgiving, and I'm sitting there, I'm trying to motivate them, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, they don't get anything."
There's no
You know
incentive.
what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no incentive. And so I'm like, no wonder they're not, they're doing something stupid. They forget a male, they forget a female at the shop. And I'm like, it's because there's no consequence for them.
Yeah.
And I think I had good guys, but I do think performance pay. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's something I'm looking at for sure. I haven't done it yet. So far, like the incentive for them to work is just that these guys are hungry for the overtime, so they've been getting unlimited overtime. So
Right.
there is kind of incentive in them working a lot, but I still feel like if I shifted it to performance pay, another thing I want to do next year is like I got to have I kind of did, but not full time. It was more like part time, but I need to have like a full time repair guy to where
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
speed it up to where it's not 24 hours, but it's actually the same day you call.
Why?
I just want to get faster at it. I just feel like the service could be better on the repair end of things.
I mean,
Like if
Tim,
I have somebody
I'm,
called back 5 times and it's 24 hours every time, even though it's quick, that's 5 days they had no lights.
that's true. Well, yeah. I'm not sure that a client, maybe now they care, but I'm not sold that like it would change the retention if it took you 12 hours versus like 24 hours to come back to fix something. I don't know. I don't think they
It
care
might
that
it might
much.
not. It might not.
Um, as long as you're there soon, like within a day or two, I think you're fine. That's my opinion. I don't think it matters too much. Um, I kind of tried that this year. We had like 8 employees, Tim. What ended up happening was I just gave them installs. When I had these guys, I was like, great, let's go give them on some installs. I ended up not really using them in that way.
Yeah.
Because I was like, he's an installer.
Yeah, it's
I want
stuff
him out making money. I don't want him doing stupid, crappy stuff. So I kind of gave up on that. But also a problem I have with that is when you don't have, I think what you're saying makes sense, but it's kind of weird to have your install crew. It can be good and bad, but when your install crew doesn't fix their own mistakes, what do you
it might keep
do?
them. It might keep them from learning, like from their mistakes.
Yeah, because they're not seeing what
But
went
the,
wrong.
the other thing that I'm looking at is like if I got a 3 or 4 man crew, and I'm sending a 3 or 4 man crew, and it takes them an hour. Like now, I'm paying 3 or 4 times the price I could have took for my repair guy. And so that's another thing I'm looking at. Like how much hourly time am I wasting?
So how do you run a 3 4 man crew? You have a crew cab pickup truck and a trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next year, I'm buying one bucket truck at a minimum. I might buy two, but I'm definitely buying one. But yeah, we're running 2 trailers right now, and then my son's got a pickup truck that we put ladder racks on, so he's able to do like repairs and stuff with that truck without having.
So you ran one crew,
No, I got 2 crews,
2 crews. Okay.
and sometimes it splits off into 3 when I got the repair guy out part time.
Yeah. I think the problem I have with the repair guy, a lot of our repairs are fairly complex things. It's not always like even me. Sometimes I'm there and I'm like,
I'm trying to
what's
figure
going
it
on
out.
here? And so I'm like, I don't think I can have just like a random guy. I mean, obviously it depends on what your repairs are. But like a lot of mine, it was like
Got to be
fixing a
someone
GFO.
experienced for sure. So you're kind of
Yeah.
sacrificing the volume that particular person could do for their
Yep.
experience.
But like you should never send a 4 man crew out to a repair. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
so for
Yeah.
me, that's why I'm
Mm.
wanting to just kind of have it completely separate. For even
Yeah.
though I think they should learn from it, but I mean,
I mean, just tell them, hey, here's what happened. I mean, maybe if you just tell them in the morning, hey guys, this is what happened. They took care of it. Don't do this again. Like if you do it again, we're gonna have a conversation.
You know what my
I
son
don't know.
did?
Yeah.
He took a picture of a tree that we were having problems with,
Mhm.
and ChatGPT scanned it and pointed out that one of the plugs was corroded. And it pointed out
That's
the plug.
hilarious.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it? It was a big
Yeah.
oak tree. I mean, there's a lot of strands on it. Must have had
So
40
what we
something.
would do for that was that tripping while you were there, Tim.
Yeah.
So what we started to do is, if we could figure out what the actual tree was, we would spray it with a hose,
Yeah.
um, literally with a water hose to find that
I
connection
seen
that
your
you're
video
talking
about
about.
that. I actually sent that to him.
Yeah, that's similar strategy to what you're saying, dude. Because you don't want to undo 40. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Undoing 40 and putting on 40 new strands, um, that's brutal. Um, brutal. But another thing you just hit on, the vehicle, dude. This is something we're really struggling with. Is what vehicle to use, dude? Because we can't run trailers where we live. It's just not going to happen.
What is it?
Like if you
Too
saw
hilly or mountainy or?
everything, too hilly, too mountainy. A lot of the roads, like in Seattle, cars can park on both sides of the road,
Oh yeah.
and like there's just like you are just asking for trouble. Like
Yeah.
you're an idiot if you do that. Even a dually, you wouldn't even want a dually, like a dually box truck going through these neighborhoods. Like bad idea. And so, but then sometimes I had a big job. I was like, let's put a 3-man crew on it. What we ended up doing is bringing 2 trucks
Mm-hmm.
because there's no vehicle that has what I want. It just doesn't exist because it's like the box trucks that I have. I don't want a dually box truck, right? I want a single. What do you call them? Single wheel box trucks. They're all 2-seaters. All the Chevy Express vans are 2-seaters. And so I
So
was
it
like, there's no
limits your
vehicle.
amount of crew member
Yeah.
you could put in there.
Yeah. And so I thought about like maybe an F-150 crew cab would work, but like I don't know that we can fit everything comfortably in the back bed. Do you see what I'm saying? So basically, there's no vehicle that exists, to my knowledge, that's seats 5 people or 4 people, and has room in the back. That's a lot of room to put equipment.
What about those
So
Sprinter vans?
yeah, those are 2-seaters. Those work, but they're
But I
2-seaters.
wonder, can you custom put a bucket seat in there so you got 3 or like?
Yep, I think you can. It might not have an airbag, but I think you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that'd be like comfortable. Um, you know, but I don't know. So that's why we do 2-man. Is just the vehicles we have, we can't make it work. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
would just send 2 trucks out to a big job.
What
I
type
don't
of
know.
ladders are you bringing on a job? Do you use that Little Giant or the
Yeah.
skyscraper one?
We never use a skyscraper. Just seemed way too big. We do 24 and 32. That is perfect for extensions. 24, 32, and then 17 Little Giant and 22 Little Giant.
So that's
Yeah.
not 22 A-frame.
That's a 22-foot Little Giant. Yeah, not an A-frame. It
Uh,
can extend to.
yeah. So with the palm trees here,
Yeah.
we use that skyscraper a lot because it prevents me from
How hard
having
is that to use?
Well, it's a 2-man ladder to operate.
That's a rough. Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys do palm
it's
trees.
big. I mean, the guy's got a good process with it. So I mean, like now it's nothing for him, but you can't use that ladder on your own. You need 2 people to set it up. It's just so wide. You got to have someone at
Yeah.
each side of it moving it.
Did you put it on top of the trailer or in the trailers?
We put it in the trailer.
Wow. And it fits?
Yeah.
I think
I got
massive.
a 14-footer, I think. I think it's 14 foot.
And is it like 12 feet long but not extended?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's massive. Yeah, a bucket truck definitely seems like it would be perfect for you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
my buddy in LA, Willem Downing, he uses a bucket. He has like 1 or 2 bucket trucks, I think. And he just knows, like, he's so confident when he has a palm tree that he's like, oh, we're going to nail this. We just go for a bucket. So that's amazing.
You guys don't have palm trees where you're at.
No. I have one client we do palm trees for.
Yeah.
Yep. And I love it. So like they can grow there, but nobody has them.
Yeah.
It's mainly just maple trees and bushes. And let me ask you a question. When you're going around your neighborhoods, Tim, what do most people that get professional lights, what does most of it look like? I'm curious.
What do you mean by that? Like in my area, just like what are they doing?
Yeah. What are they doing? Because I've never been around there. like my buddy's in LA, my buddy in Arizona, he's like, everybody puts these spritzers in the trees, these spritzers, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I,
dude,
I did a
nobody
few of
does that
those.
where I live.
I did a few of
Yeah.
those jobs this year with the spritzers, but a lot of people do a lot of the crazy homeowner stuff where it's just all over the place. But like the professional lights, I mean, we get everyone likes lighting up palm trees down here. I mean, they might not do the roof line and just do palms. So we get a lot of that to where, like when I first got into it and I did this big, when I first got certified with Clipper or whatnot, I ordered a big $20,000 starter, order, and it was all roof line that I ordered, because I'm doing the course and they're talking mostly about roof line.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh shit, I need a ton of mini lights. So it's just like,
yeah,
I need a lot more mini lights than I need roof line down here, to be honest with you. So it's a lot of trees getting lit up.
So when people call you, they're like, hey, I have these big palm trees. I want you to light them up. Right. You're like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to go out there. It starts 1,500, blah, blah, blah. But you have people actually asking for that stuff. Just one thing that I've noticed in my area, it's roof lines. Like, that's the only thing I see. Like, when we do it, like, that's literally the only thing I see. And so I'm like, Florida seems like it's a little bit different of a market. You see what I'm saying? It's a different style down there. Like, they're not so obsessed with the roofs.
I've stayed, they're not at all because they got all these trees to light up. So they just, I would say a lot of them are doing both. Like I'd say most of my clients are doing roof line and trees, but you just got, I would say 25% of the market where they're just wanting trees.
I would say a big issue I've had, Tim, with sales where I live is I cannot figure out like what our standard offer should be. Because literally every home is completely different. Like, let's say you want to do like, okay, I'm going to offer a tree. Dude, I have been to some homes, there's 55 trees. Right? We're in Washington. And there's 200 bushes. They're all over. And I look at it and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Right? And I'm like, okay, we'll just do the roof line. Because like, what am I supposed to do?
So much stuff, yeah. I try to stay away from, it just depends. Like, if it's a low ticket job, like if it's already low and I'm trying to build it up, I might quote hedges, but I honestly don't try to quote hedges. It's like it puts my ticket price way up here.
Yeah.
And I'm already asking for $3-4 grand over here and all this other shit. So the trees kind of make it to where I don't really try to quote too many hedges and bushes and shrubs.
Dude, bushes, we lost $3,000 on a hedge job. Like in material, we lost $3 grand because we came in.
More than you thought.
Yeah, we thought I bid it in like September, and it was like a $7 million house in one of the richest neighborhoods in the world. Actually, Clyde Hill, Washington, extremely rich, and Jeff Bezos lived all this stuff. Very nice house. But when I went there, the guy could barely speak English. I'm giving this quote, and we're kind of like confused about which hedges we're doing, and they're kind of on the fence. And so I gave him a $3,000 quote for like a roof line and hedges, and then we used like 50 minis, and we did maybe a quarter of his hedges. And I was like, well, what do we do? Do we ask for more money? You know what I mean? So we ended up using like 250 and we just lost $3 grand on it. And I was like, I think I kind of made a rule after that with the crew. Like, hey, if this is not going how you think it's going to go, you need to call it off immediately.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at it and you're like, this doesn't seem right. Like, don't give us 3 jobs today, but this first one's going to take 2 days. You need to call the office and be like, something's not right. And then you just got to cancel it, to be honest. You just got to be like, hey, client, like we fucked up. Like, this is it. It's got to be 10,000. It can't be 3,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to lose all that money. Yeah.
Yeah, and we should have just called it off immediately. But at that point, we were kind of too deep into it. It was a huge mistake. But that's the thing where those hedges are so expensive. They take so much time in life. Right.
I had one job where it was an oak tree that I just didn't quote enough strands, and the guy was just so, underwhelmingly. He just was. He just was underwhelmed. So
trees are.
I actually doubled the amount of strands on that one. Lost money, but it was one of the first clients we did this year, so I made him happy. It was in early October.
Trees are where, if you were to take my business and say 95% of our problems, I would say trees. 95% of it is the trees because they're quoted wrong. Like any tree quote remotely is going to be a disaster.
You know what I started doing with the so like say if I have an oak tree, I'll kind of I'll take a picture on company cam and draw out what I think it'll be, and I'll as I'm selling it, I tell them this is kind of what I think it'll be, but it's almost impossible to quote these. So what I'm doing is I got you quoted for 24 strands, and then I put in the verbiage that, if upon customer's request, for more strands, it's an additional $50 a strand. So I got that verbiage in the line item, and we understand, like, you're getting this amount of strands. I don't know what it'll do yet. This is what I think it will do. And if they're not happy, they'll add to it. But usually I'm close enough to where I'm not doing everything, but I'm doing enough to where they're always happy. So I generally don't have any problems with it. I literally only had that one problem with that one guy.
Yeah. But man, if you had a problem though, I don't know if you ran into this, but like you're doing a tree and it's like you want to win the job, but you don't
Yeah.
want to quote them like 5K for this tree. And so you're just kind of like, I don't know if you do this, but I'm like, okay, like we could do the whole thing for like $4,000. We could do the trunk for 500, or we could do half for 2K, right? And you try to like play with it like that, but then you're kind of overcomplicating it. You're making it really complicated, right? And so kind of what we ended up doing is like, hey, let's just do the trunk. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to keep it simple. I'm curious, how would you tackle that? Like, there's a lot of ways we can do this. What do we tell them? Like, how do you handle that?
I'm trying to, like, on most oak trees, unless they're huge, like some of them are huge, but most of them I just sell 24 strands and they get a
Gotcha.
couple main branches, and it's a price point to where it's not too expensive. It's like $1,200
Yeah.
for that
I think
tree.
here's the thing that I'm noticing about you. You say oak tree. Dude, we have so many fucking trees. I don't even know the name of the goddamn things.
Well,
Like,
I don't think they're all
every
oak
single
trees.
tree.
I call them oak
Okay.
trees. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oak
But
tree
like every tree, it's a different shape and size, right? I don't have like a crystal clear system. Like a palm tree, they're
Yeah.
probably pretty similar in width where you can kind of like dial it in. But I feel like it's something I'm struggling with. It's like
The palm trees
just-
I'm getting good at. Like I could,
Yeah.
I'm almost, I can look at a tree and tell you how many strands at this point it generally takes within 1 or 2 strands. But
there you go.
yeah, the oak trees are difficult, and I just don't get into promising what it'll do. I promise how many strands, and if you want more, I just make it really clear. If you want more, you'll see it. If you want more, we could add more, but there's a cost.
Well, so what happens if you do a pretty mock up and you show it going halfway up the tree, right? And like this happened to me, and then we get there, we put. I mean, maybe this is my fault, but it was a tiny tree. We put it on like 5 strands, and we got maybe a third of the way up the tree. And the client's like, it just doesn't look good. Like, I need more. And then you're like, okay, here's the price per strand. How many do you want me to add? Is that kind of what you go, or how would you approach that?
The one guy that I just ended up giving him more strands is because he, you could kind of feel their energy, and he was just he's a dick. So I just didn't want to piss him off and have him have a bad taste in his mouth. So he's happy. So it was just worth getting that guy happy. But generally, during my sales process, they all understand because I'm telling it to them. I'm showing it to them. I'm also telling them this is what I think it'll do. So it's just I'm really clear in my communication.
Yeah, I think
I haven't had any issues, and I think it's just because of clear communication and then having that verbiage in there.
Yeah, it's just I wish I could be like, oh, it's a small tree, it's $250. Medium tree, 500. But it's like I think the strand way is the way to do it. You can't simplify it. You know what I mean? Because it's too small palm, big palm. I don't think.
Yeah, so it's totally like this is literally impossible for me to know how many strands this takes. This is what I think it'll do. This is how many strands I'm charging you. If you want more, you want more. But it's just, and I'm pretty accurate with about what I think it'll do.
Now let me ask you something about the sales process. One thing I had an issue, you get to somebody's house for like, I just want this, right? And they got like an $8 million house. It's beautiful, right? And then kind of what I would do, because Steve Hunsaker, but what he would kind of do is like, yeah, I got it. So here's what we'll do. We'll build out your quote with all your options, and we'll show you the quote, right? And so you take your time, you kind of build it out. But sometimes that process can take a really long time to like get all the options or whatever. How would you approach your sales process, Tim? I don't know if you've ever talked about it. I'd love to hear more.
Yeah, so I just, I go to the job and I ask them if they have any, ideas or any visions, because a lot of times they do. A lot of times they don't. So I just kind of, if they don't, I help create them one. But, I don't know. I'm pretty quick at it, but I take pictures and itemize everything with company cam.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can't figure out how to do is how to get the company cam pictures into the line items without cropping the picture. So in company cam, I might screenshot it and crop the picture because I'll put each drawing in each line item. And I just
and Tim, you don't care about What was I going to say? Um, Dude, what were you just saying? Sorry, before company cam, what did you say?
Yeah, so I just have, line items and I'm,
Oh, I got it. So you don't do mock-ups. Like you're
no.
not sitting there getting this beautiful. So tell me more about that. Like, because a lot of guys are like, dude, you got to have this beautiful mock-up to build the emotion. You got to build it. Because like I remember I had a Seahawks player. We did, right? NFL team. You follow the NFL?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, we did one of their players, and the wife came to us and she's like, "Yeah, I was kind of like with the roof and like this," and I was like, "Okay, cool." But I just drew up their home, and I added in these columns, I added in a big wreath, and they're like, "Dude, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
That's what we want." And I'm not sure that I could have sold that if I did what you did, or I just drew a line like, "Hey, here's a circle for a wreath. Here's a line for the pole." Do you kind of see what I'm saying? Um, and so I'm kind of hesitant, but your way is much faster. I'd like your take on that.
Yeah, I don't have time, man. I got to get 7, 8 quotes done a day, and I have a 55% close rate this way, so it's working for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with my optional line items,
Hmm.
I don't put everything on it. You know how you get on Jobber, how you can hit recommend, and then it's just if you
Yes. Yeah.
recommend
Yeah.
everything, now you got like a $6,000 bid. So I might have a $6,000 bid, but I'm not going to recommend all of them. So I'll have all the options, but I'll
Yeah.
probably recommend it to where it's reasonable.
Mm.
25, 2,000 to 3,000. My average ticket
Yeah.
price this year was 31 or 3,200.
Yeah.
So I might have that amount recommended, and I'm making it really clear.
Mm.
I'm making it really clear, basically, how it works. So I'll read you. You know how you have an
Do you show
introduction
them a
to the
Do you show
jobber?
them a portfolio, Tim?
No, but sometimes I'll show them pictures on my phone while I'm there.
Because
But
like,
so
yeah.
inside the introduction part of Jobber.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So in the introduction, I got a nice picture that with the Griswold's logo that I upload in there, and then my verbiage. I'll read it to you. It'll say, holiday lighting service, and it says here's how it works. We supply, install, maintain, take down, and store everything for you. You don't buy lights, you don't store them, you don't deal with problems. If a bulb goes out, we fix it within 24 to 48 hours. At the end of the season, we remove everything and keep it safe for the next year. Your home stays lit, maintained, and holiday ready. And best of all, you're in control. Each line item is optional, so you could opt in or opt out of any part of the service to fit your budget and your preferences. So it's spelled out to them really clear that they have the option to kind of manipulate the budget. And I'll have like a good amount recommended, but I won't recommend everything because
No.
whenever I recommend everything, they just see the $6,000, it discourages them, and then they don't go through it. And so
Exactly.
that's
And it
kind of
works.
my
Yeah.
approach.
In person. So wait, do you one call close a lot, or is it
Yeah.
usually, hey, I'm going to send this to you, or how does that
No,
work?
I don't believe in sending it to them later. Like I'm asking for your credit card now. So like what I'll do is after I'm showing them all the options and they're telling me what they want, um, I'll ask them it. I'll just straight up ask them, do you want to get put on the schedule?
So you'll be like, hey, here's all the options, because like let's say you have 6 options on there, right? You're like, hey, I hand it to them, hey, take a look at these options, right? What do you want to do? And they'll look at it and be like, okay, let's do these 3, or you know what I mean? And then you're like, okay, click on your total is 3,500. Do you want to sign up? Or I'm just curious, how do you kind of?
Yeah. So I'm literally, I'm not asking like, I'm not asking for the sale. I'm just asking if you want to get put on the schedules. That's my line.
Yeah.
So I'm showing it to them.
Yeah.
They see it and they're looking at it. There's like a couple seconds of silence, and I'm like, "Do you want to get put on the schedule?" And like,
But like,
usually
it can be overwhelming though. But it can be hard to see. Like, do they scroll down through all this stuff, or?
No, I mean it's real clear. I mean, normally like I have an idea of what they want. So they want the roof line and they want these 5 trees. But then I see all this other shit that they could do. So I come up with all these options. So I might have recommended what they wanted, but then I'll say and I'll show them the price of that, and then I'll go over the other options. I said, but I noticed it would probably look good if you did this or that. And now I'm showing them other options, and they may be adding them in there. And so once we get that squared away and they see the price, I'm literally just asking them if they want to get put on the schedule. Once they say yes, I'm hitting the approve button. They're signing it. And then after it's signed, I'm just asking them, Do you want to use credit card for the deposit?
Yep.
And so I just get right into that, and then I'm just going to either tap it if you can, or manually put it in. Boom, take the deposit right on the spot, and then I let them know, like, in the next 10 minutes, my office is going to give you a call and get you put on the schedule.
There you go. Now, what do you do? What do you do if? Sorry, a lot of thoughts on this. We do the same thing.
Yep.
When it doesn't close on the spot, have you found like probably a 5% chance of closing, or do you get a good amount of leakage? I'm curious.
What do you mean?
Like if you don't get it, they're like, let me think about it. Let me talk to my wife. Let me talk to my accountant. Let me, I'm getting multiple bids, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
How often do those people end up booking in your experience?
Quite a bit.
Okay. So you do quite a bit with the follow-up, you would say.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that my follow-up is great. I mean, I got the jobber follow-up, so they're getting the text messages and the emails, but it just depends on how busy I am. Like towards the end of the season, I'd say my follow-up was getting better. I was trying to keep selling jobs,
Yeah.
The beginning of the season, it was mayhem. My follow-up wasn't as great, Maybe that's something that could be improved on. But sales ultimately isn't my problem as much as
It's the leaky buck. I mean, it could be. I mean, because Tim, like we talked earlier, I don't know you. I don't know anything about your business, but like, let's say you lowered that minimum a little bit. You hired a couple sales guys, and you added on $1 million in sales. You know what I mean? I mean, there's anything can happen. I don't know.
It's hard to tell, but I'm pretty happy with bringing on 300 every year, 350, because it's manageable on the growth side of things. It's not like I'm not tripling my production and then having a ton of problems. So I'm able to kind of stack it every year on the growth end of things.
That's something this year, the growth. Yeah, I could see myself raising prices a little bit this season, and maybe trying to keep 2 crews instead of kind of 4. Pushing the early installs, pushing the prices, pushing the early installs, because 280, I don't think 2 crews can even do 280.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is that even possible?
It's a lot of stops. You don't do a lot in October.
September, actually. We start in September. That's something we're going to work on, Tim, I think is, what do you think about quarterly postcards? So I think we're going to do what you did, which is, well, when we do takedown, we're going to ask them like 2 key questions, like, hey, Mrs. Smith, I stole this from, there's a Scottish guy. He has like a really thick accent. Have you heard him talk before?
No.
His name is Daniel Walsh. He's hilarious. I love this guy.
Okay.
But he like grew to like $1 million in the second year. He's a crazy guy. But he was like, when they did takedowns, he would be like, hey, do you plan on booking next year so I can know whether to label your lights or not? You know what I mean? And he said that like that helped his retention because people were like, most people would tell the truth.
Yeah.
Right? And so they're like, yes, I'm going to book. And then he found that like anybody who said yes, they almost always booked. And so if they said no, he would just be like, okay, I guess, then he would just take their lights and unbulb them and throw them away and say, okay, yeah, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing we're going to do is like, oh, even if they don't do the deposit, like, hey, do you plan on staying with us?
Straight up
just so we can just straight up ask him, just so we can figure out like how to store your equipment. I thought that was really smart. What do you think?
No, I like that. I might play around with that.
Yeah. Do you label?
Yeah.
Okay. You do.
You know what? This year I'm not labeling the minis. Like it's only going to be roof line, and then I'm going to get those. Because I use those black and yellow totes, like everyone's good from Home Depot. I want to get the ones that are smaller, like the half ones. Mm-hmm. Not every job I could fit it on that, but I think it's the same black and yellow top. They're just shorter if I could find them. And
the 17 gallon ones.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because some jobs, if it's just roof line, it's not going to take up a lot, and they actually could fit into that. So I think I'm going to start buying some of those. It won't always work, but I'm only going to store roof lines and label roof lines. And if it's just mini lights, like I'm just doing those by color now.
Yeah, no, that's for mini lights. That makes perfect sense.
Well, because the beginning of this year, I dropped like 60, 70 grand on all this material and stuff where,
oh yeah.
Because you don't know yet. Like you don't know who's coming back, who's not coming back. I didn't have a real clear reading on it, and a lot of people were booking, but it's just I didn't know who was coming back, not coming back, and then I got all these mini lights in their bins, and I wish that I didn't. I wish that they were all separated. It would have made it easier.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. For minis, definitely. The only problem with that is you need to know exactly how many minis you use on the job. So dude, this is what crushed us this year. Or it
Because
didn't
you're
crush
getting
us. We had
trees
like,
that are growing, right?
yeah, well, we don't on takedown, we're gonna have them record how many strands they use. Because
Yeah.
yeah, we don't actually know on a couple of them. I told them 5 strands per tree and they used 20.
Ooh.
We were 15 in the hole. There's one that I went to for a callback and I was like, I was looking at the tree and I was like, I am so screwed, bro. I'm like, next year we're gonna have this client's gonna hate me next year because of how
Yeah.
they did so much. I told the customer trunk wrap. The guys did not hear trunk wrap. They heard whole wrap.
All right.
And that's gonna be that customer's not gonna be happy next year. When it comes to retention, what do you think about this? Is there any small thing that you think you can throw in for free on an install to a client?
Is there any
Like,
what?
so my buddy was telling me about this. Like, let's say I'm a car detailer, right? And I'm coming out to detail your car, and you book a standard wash, right? And I do this wash, and then at the end, I throw in a free pair of sunglasses, a little thank you card, and maybe I detail the headlights. It takes me 2 minutes, and I say thanks for your business. And then you're like, wow, this guy went above and beyond.
Yeah.
He went above and beyond. And my friend, he has roofing, but he's like, dude, you should do that for holiday lights. Like, what's something you can give to every customer for free that makes them a customer for life? And
I've heard
I'm like,
of
well, dude, I'm
some
not going to give them a
people.
free reef. Yeah.
I've heard of some people like the second year just adding something like without asking, they just added something. I mean, I can see a little problem with that if someone doesn't want more. Sometimes you get customers that just want just this, but adding
Yeah,
something in every year is what one person was doing.
but I feel like that's called the short path to bankruptcy.
I mean, I don't do it.
What?
I
What?
said I don't do it.
Yeah, I don't, because like you added everything each year, and all of a sudden you're doing this whole job for free. So yeah, I agree with you because we're a design-based industry. I don't think you like want to throw in a wreath because you're like, well, wait a minute, this is fucking got my whole look here. I didn't want your wreath,
I got
right?
one guy that I'm gonna lose for sure because like I had to do 2 repairs for him, right? And like for him, he was like blown away that we had to go back 2 times or something. But it was I might start using wrap straps on these palms
Yeah,
next year.
yeah.
But we had a
Can't you
palm that
staple them?
just like we had a palm that slid down, no big deal. So we were back
Yeah,
within 24 hours and rewrapped it.
yeah.
But he's got all these bushes and these monuments, and he was like expecting me to just, oh, since there's all these problems, why don't you just add more lights and stuff? I'm like, you want me to add like $1,000 worth of light? I'm not doing it. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even want that customer next year because if I do it for him, now I got a customer that's going to expect that for free every year.
yep,
It's just I don't want someone entitled. So it's just
yeah. It's not so. But so do you think? Yeah, I agree with that. You should not be doing
no. I mean,
anything like
we
that.
did our job. We came back within 24 hours and repaired it. It's fixed. It's beautiful. It's working. Like give you $1,000 of stuff for free just because I had to come out twice. Like I'm already paying to come out. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing my job.
Dude, I haven't had anybody like that all year. So
No,
that's
there's only one
we-
guy, but like I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
interested in having that guy back. Like I'm gonna put notes in there and not send him a rebooking link.
yeah, yeah. Do not. Yeah, that's crazy. We've had really good luck. Like I've had people we got back 6 times and they're chill. You know,
Yeah,
like to be fair, the lady that we've gone back 6 times, we did 2 trees here and then a roof line, but then one of the trees wasn't working, but we put it on a we put it on a separate circuit, so it wasn't a big deal. But yeah. But Tim, another thing about sales, have you considered? I don't know if this is dumb. Maybe it's overcomplicating it, but you know how like everybody else does packaging, better, best, good, or best, better, good, right? Like 3 options. I've
yeah.
tried that.
think
I
it's
don't
too
like it,
complicated.
but it kind of makes it simple. It makes it complicated, but it can also make it simple because the customer looks at the quote and they say, okay, for 5K, I get everything. For 3K, I get half of it. For 1,500, I just get this. And then they're like, okay, let's just go with the 3,000. You see how it kind of simplifies it? Instead of being like, oh, which of these 5 items do I want? So I've kind of had mixed feelings on it. What do you think?
It just can't work for me. I don't know if it's because there's too many palm trees and just I have to itemize too much. There's just too
Yeah.
many itemizations. Like this item might over here, this tree might be $2,500. Like I don't know. I can't wrap my brain around it. I think in some areas, like I think of an area like yours, it might work. Like you have mostly roof lines.
Yeah.
You could add in like the driveway lining or there's certain things you could add wreaths. Like there's certain things I think you could build a package like that. I just don't feel like I'm in the region for it.
Yeah, I think with you, it wouldn't make sense. Like, let's say you just did let's say like you only offered like three main things, like roof lines, roofs, and columns, right? You could be like, the roof line package is 800, the roof line and greenery package with like three wreaths and garland is 1800. You see what I'm saying? Like you might, but it'd have to be standardized, very standardized sales process.
And I actually stay away from garland. I don't push it. I'm not saying that I didn't. I probably did like 4 garland jobs this year, but that's just because if someone knows what they want and they're just insistent, fine. But like, I'm not going there trying to talk someone into garland. And I know it's profitable, but it's also a pain in the ass to store, and it's just so for me, it's just not conducive. Like, I don't try to push it. I push a lot of wreaths.
Well, how is a wreath better than a garland?
I just think it is, man. Like, I don't know. You got the garland, like 4 pieces is a box like this. I don't know. And then I think it's hard with fluff and stuff. Or the wreaths, I could just hang them up on something.
What if you could only do wreaths, garland, and roof lines? Like playing Christmas lights on hard mode.
I would hate that.
That's the funny thing about this industry. There's a lot of ways to run it, Tim.
Yeah. Well, there's guys that sell a lot of garland. Like, they're pushing that on every job. And I think it looks nice. It's just I don't want to deal with it really, so I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's about what makes sense for you.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if like none of your competitors do it, you have a monopoly, right?
Right.
So,
yep.
It's really cool.
So appreciate you coming on here today, brother.
So much fun. I got to listen to your other podcasts that you did.
Talking about your season. The good one last night was Stacy.
Yeah. Did you tell her how your season went and everything? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I want to hear, like, you haven't talked about your net or anything. I want to hear kind of what that is. I can tell you right now, ours was bad. But like, if you kept most of your materials, I wonder what your economics were like. Do you have any insight on that, Tim?
I would say probably end up about 30% net.
Gotcha.
You know,
okay, I
was big spending on it. Big spending on advertising and
Google ads.
A lot of material this year. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it could probably be better. I'm interested in looking at how much I'm spending on labor, like what that actual percentage is. I haven't had time to dig into it, but once I really nail down like how much of the job, and I don't think I'll know until after takedowns. But I think I should probably look at it 2 different ways. I should look at it, how much should I spend before takedowns and how much just on takedowns, because a lot of the percentages that I'm hearing people pay is like they're doing maybe 15% on putting up and then 5% on takedowns. And so I'd be interested in seeing where I'm actually at, and then maybe being able to make it a fixed number on percentage pay and then control it more, because right now it's like fluctuating.
Yeah, I agree. And before we head off here, I want to talk about advertising super quick with you, Tim. What did you guys do for advertising?
So I did, I put out like 700 yard signs this year. I always do at least 500. Maybe it's more like 650 this year. I think I ordered 700. And then I do AdWords, pretty good budget, between $6,000 to $8,000 a month, the season months. And then a 2,000 to 3,000 meta ads budget, during the season. So I start running that like September. There's not much spend going on in September, and then October more spend, and the most of the spend's in November.
And you use Pipeline for Facebook? I assume you own Pipeline or something?
No, I'm partnered with a couple other businesses, but I've worked with them for 12 years. I was their first gutter company way back.
Okay, so Pipeline, and then is AdWords? Were they filling out the form on your website, or was that like a generic, or were they calling, or what is AdWords again?
Yeah, it's just the Google paid ads for Google. So,
so they would go to your form
have
or
the
call?
website and the SEO, and then this is just going to drive traffic to it on the sponsored ads up top.
Oh, okay. So they would just
It's both forms and people calling.
Yeah, we actually just did yard signs and organic.
Okay.
And so that could be how we push double, right? If we crank Facebook and Google. We tried to run Google first week of December. First of all, it was $3,700 to set it up, which I think was way too much. I couldn't even believe that.
Well, Pipeline's going to do like a management fee. They're not going to charge you this big setup fee. It's just a monthly management fee, and then
I don't like the whole.
You have an allocated budget towards
Yeah.
The Google or Facebook. That's what you
Yeah.
want to do. Whoever you
Yeah.
use, you want to pay a management fee, and then the
Yeah.
rest of it goes to Google. When they start
I
like
think,
saying, "Give me
Makes sense.
$8,000," and they're charging you so much per lead, they're like cushioning that.
Yeah. I think I need to look into pipeline. I like what you're saying because Facebook is kind of like you need to do the videos. I feel like with like you
Yeah.
out in the field. I feel like so that's like a kind of a separate thing. But with the Google ads, I was not happy. I spent 3,700, and it was a really good guide. Everybody recommended, but man, the leads we used his landing page, and literally 80% of them wanted permanent. And I think we closed 2 out of 30 leads, and I shut it down. But that
That's
was like,
crazy.
dude, that was a $5,000 loss. On
Yeah, it's crazy they were all permanent.
It was all permanent or cheap. And obviously, maybe I didn't have the best sales process. Like, I'm not going to deny that because I was super busy. But it was so horrific that I was like, man, this is a lot of money. So that right there is 5K right off the.
See, it's definitely the most expensive lead, but it's my favorite lead because they literally know what they want. Like they're typing it in, like Christmas lights. Typing it in. The other stuff is more disruption marketing. It's like I'm driving. Oh yeah, I need that. Or I'm on Facebook and but Google customers know what they want.
I think we'll try and start it earlier, Tim. The Google ads. I did it late December. I think I'll try and get it started earlier in October and really try to dial it in. But I'm not paying a $3,700 setup fee.
No, that's crazy, bro.
That's fucking nuts. Because it just, I don't know. I just really want, that was stupid, dude. So I'm kind of mad about that.
Yeah.
I can't.
I think next year you kick up the AdWords and the meta ads and do all three. You're gonna have a pretty good engine.
And then just say we have a $1,200 minimum. Like we're not stepping foot on that property unless it's a $1,200 minimum.
Yeah.
And then I think
weed them out.
Yeah, weed them out. And I think we can do big, really big. And so another thing, right before we head out, I know you talked about retention. You know what a local company to me does? Clean 425. They do a 3-year contract. First year you pay up front.
I wish I had a 3-year contract.
That's something you can do. They do a first year up front and then monthly payments for the next 2 years. Can you believe that? So it's first year boom. And then that way their lights are paid for by the time it hits by the time you install them next year, it's already paid for.
Yeah. Just got a good system to get people into that. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, just wanted to tell you about that.
I like that though. Because that's one regret that I have, man, that I don't have these people on contracts. That would fix this problem. I'd be at $1 million right now.
I mean, it could or it could not. Because what if it really hurts your front end sales?
The sales, I know. Everything's what if.
Yeah, it could. I think that's something we'll test next year. Is let's do a section like this, a section like this, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of an emotional buy, so locking them in. You know what I mean, Tim? You want to lock them in while they got that.
I'm locking them in now while they still have that dopamine hit. Yeah.
Exactly. Rather than when the lights go down in January. So
good deal, man. Well, had fun. Appreciate you coming on.
All right. See you, Tim.
Talk to you soon.